With that, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so you've joined us here today as you likely have a calculation and reconciliation opportunity for your business, whether that be for tips, gratuity, service charge, commissions, really any type of variable pay. And managing those processes in spreadsheets leads to errors. It requires manual data entry. It introduces unnecessary risk and fraudulent activity, and results in inaccurate, delayed payroll operations. You can see the statistic here stating 90% of spreadsheets contain errors. We've seen that for over 20 years here at Evention, which is why we created an automated solution to that problem. Our Tips and Gratuities application is designed to remove those time-consuming data entry processes, to reduce risk, prevent fraud, and automate the calculation and distribution of variable pay earnings, ensuring on-time and accurate payroll processes. So no more manual data entry, no more spreadsheets. And it really is as easy as 1, 2, 3. I won't sing the song, don't worry. The process begins with access. So establishing integrations with your source systems to automate the collection of basic data required for distribution. Commonly, these system integrations include point of sale, event management systems, property management systems, spa, time and attendance, and our very own InstaTip digital tipping application. So we integrate with hundreds of source systems, replacing that manual data entry requirement for information such as checks and dollars, as well as employee records and hours information. So instead of manually entering that information into your spreadsheet, all of that information is automatically integrated into our Tips and Gratuities solution. And so that's your access step of the process. The second step is to analyze. And we make that easy here at Evention. Our professional services team will configure and implement your various business rules, allowing for automated calculation and distribution of your variable pay. Our Tips and Gratuities application provides both summarized and detailed data views and reporting, and allows for quick and easy verification prior to payroll integration. So no more tripping over your spreadsheet with manual data entry and validating the formulas that drive calculation. Our Evention team will configure the Tips and Gratuities application to meet your business needs and ensure you have the required data views for quick and accurate payroll verification. And lastly, it's time to act. Now that you've reviewed the calculated distributions for the pay period, with the simple click of a button, you can initiate the export process, which integrates the calculated Tips and Gratuities data with your payroll system. We integrate with all payroll systems, so ensuring the calculated data from Tips and Gratuities allows for accurate and on-time payroll processing. So access, analyze, and act, all elements of the process that we'll dig into here in a moment. Now, while discussing access to various source systems on that previous screen, I mentioned our Evention InstaTip solution, and that offers a digital tipping opportunity. So that's what you're seeing depicted here. Digital tipping provides guests with the opportunity to tip departments or employees for exceptional service where previously cash was the only option. And common use cases include housekeeping, valet, bell stand, concierge, and many more. And so here at Evention, InstaTip starts with the simple scanning of a QR code. The guest can select the department or the employee, select an amount and their preferred digital wallet for payment. You can also enter card details and complete the tipping process within a matter of seconds. And so that's the guest process of InstaTip and the digital tipping concept. Now, the InstaTip data is then integrated into our own Tips and Gratuities solution, which allows for automated calculation and distribution and ensures payroll integration for proper tracking, taxation, and payment of the employee tips. So as you learn more about Evention, be sure to leverage our InstaTip digital tipping solution on the front end of the acceptance process. All right, well, if you weren't already excited, we're about to dig into our new Tips and Gratuities Dashboard offering. And so our Evention team is proud to offer this additional enhancement, which provides the ability to access, analyze, and act on your data in a simplified, streamlined way for more accurate and efficient payroll processing. Evention wants to ensure we can empower you and your users through your Tips and Gratuities process. So the dashboard is the new front door to Tips and Gratuities. Specifically, Evention is providing a streamlined experience to ensure successful data imports, assist in data review and validation of your Tips and Gratuities distributions, and initiate your close and export process for payroll integration, all automated and accomplished from your dashboard. All right, so beyond the dashboard, the full Tips and Gratuities experience is available with the click of a button. The dashboard, as mentioned, is the new front door. So it provides insights into data imports, total and summary distributions, and allows for close and export from one convenient location. The Tips and Gratuities application is accessed based on configured user accounts, ideally via single sign-on access. So each user can have a custom configured role to expand or limit their access as needed, all configured within the application. The dashboard was also designed with mobile use in mind. So your users have the ability to access Tips and Gratuities from their phone or their tablet. And of course, no app is required. All right, so let's really dig into the three-step process and the data that the dashboard provides. So that access, analyze, and act process. The first thing I'd like to call out here is in the top right corner, you can see that the data is grouped by pay period. So in your spreadsheet, you're usually compiling the data so that you can process a pay period's worth of information to your payroll system. Commonly that's weekly. You might also see bi-weekly, monthly, daily. But the data is naturally grouped by pay period, and you can see there's an open indicator. And then if this was already exported for payroll, you would see a closed indicator in the top right. And so we're isolating that pay period, in this case, that week's worth of data that you're looking to access, analyze, and act upon. And the process really begins with validating successful imports. And so we start in the top left of the dashboard and we work clockwise here. And so Tips and Gratuities integrates with your source systems. We talked about event management, point of sale, time and attendance, some common integration systems from which the application collects the data. In the Tips and Gratuities calculation and distribution processes will create new data value for payroll. So integrating that raw data inbound into the application in order to apply your business rules and create new data value. The first step is to validate the imports. So your dashboard is going to provide that information, that simplified view into the success of your imports, a snapshot, if you will. And so in this image, you can see the imports broken down by total, as well as broken down by source system. And so it gives you the confidence in the complete and successful import of both dollars and hours in this example. You're also provided quick access to the imports page, which contains additional details, and you can access that by clicking Go to Imports in the top right. And so by ensuring your data imports were successful, the access step of the process is complete, and you can confidently proceed to the analyze step of reviewing and validating distributions for the pay period. With the total tiles, Tips and Gratuities assists you in performing that initial review, the analyze step of collected and distributed amounts right from the dashboard. So here the data is summarized and represented at the total level. You're presented with both total source amount and total distribution amount. The total source amount being the check or dollar amount collected from your source system. And then next to that, the total distribution amount reflects how much of that collected amount is being distributed to your employees. And so perhaps you distribute just service charge for your business. And so you have a total source amount of service charge collected from your event management or point of sale system. And that's represented as that starting total source amount. And perhaps you have a business rule, a distribution rule, where 5% of that is retained and not distributed to the employees. Maybe that's the house portion. And so we show both the total source amount and then the total distribution amount, which is that 95% value. And so that's represented at that high level, at that total level, how much was collected and how much is being distributed to the employees. So it's your first level of verification and validation of the distribution. Like I said, the distribution percentage is also represented. And so again, if your business rule is to withhold 5% as the house portion, you have confidence here that the full 95% is reflected in that total distributions. And then total hours are also represented. Commonly for distribution of variable pay earnings, whether that be tips, service charge, commissions, well, not necessarily commissions, but commonly total hours is that distribution mechanism where you're going to pool based on hours and divide that out to your staff. And so that's the top right widget here, the total summary. So it's that highest level snapshot of what was collected and what was distributed. Of course, you need to then validate additional elements and analyze additional elements of your distribution. So in the bottom left of the dashboard, you have the distribution summary section, which provides insights into the check or dollar amounts by type. And so we've gone a level lower than your total amounts, and now we've broken those source amounts and distributions down by the type or the category. And so the data here is represented by both table and chart format. And so you see the amount collected from the source system conveniently compared to the amount distributed based on your business rules configured within Tips and Gratuities. So in this example, the depiction is a 95% distribution where 5% is withheld. And the information is broken down here by type or category of distribution, such as tips, service charge, food sales, commissions. So again, it's that next step in the analyze process, that next level of data review and validation. If you've compared your total source amount in the top right, you then want to see how that, if you do have multiple categories, see how that's broken out amongst those categories and types within the distribution summary. And then in the bottom right, the job summary section of the dashboard provides insights into the distribution to your staff. And so you've worked through that total validation. You've been advised on how that breaks down by type and category. And so you've performed that quick validation. And now you need to see how that's broken down by position and employee. So here you have that total distribution amount broken down by position, displaying the distribution amount, the hours, and fan favorite, the amount per hour or tip point represented here within the job summary. And so this is especially helpful when validating tip distributions. For example, you can clearly see the breakdown between servers and bartenders and really all staff participating in the distribution. So your final level of analysis is what the job summary page provides and is shown here. So that last level of simple analysis and information needed to validate the distributions to individual employees. And so you see here on the job summary page, the summarized data at the top, and then the table that provides the individual employee breakdown, including the position groupings with the distribution amounts, the hours, and the amount per hour once again. So this employee level data gives you the confidence in the accurate distributions that are ready for payroll integration. Capabilities here to filter, sort, and search on the data. And again, that last kind of granular level of employee distributions that allow you to finalize that the analyzed portion of the process. And so as that completes the analyzed portion of the process, the dashboard has helped us efficiently perform the important steps of validating successful data imports, as well as validating the collected and distributed amounts by type, including the employee distributions. And so now we're ready for the really fun part, the close and export for payroll integration. And that close and export process consists of a simple review and click of a button. So you're presented with confirmation of the pay period date range, the configured and selected export options, an optional notes section, and a sign-off acknowledgement feature indicating the where and the date range for what you are processing and integrating to payroll. And so you can see with the simple click of a button, exciting rocket ship animation indicating processing, and then finalizes with the successful status and the confirmation and receipt page. And so that's it. Your tips and gratuities process is complete and finalized with payroll integration. Now, as you might expect, you also have access to the Help Center to assist with any of those application tasks. The data inbound to the application for access, the review and analysis within the dashboard, and then the close and export process to integrate those calculated earnings to payroll. And so you can contact our Evention team. You can access detailed instructional guides. You can provide feedback, which we always welcome. And you can keep up to date on additional product enhancements and offerings, at times derivative of that feedback. All easily accessed here within the application, within the dashboard.